Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. This is just kind of like a little bonus chatty video because there's something I wanted to talk about and I didn't want to forget about it. And so much has happened this week in this realm that I just feel like I want to record a quick video about this and maybe post it. I'll probably post it. Why not? I think this will be a really good discussion for us to have because I think a lot of artists are scared. I think a lot of creative people in general are scared of this. I'm really unsure of how to feel about this, but it's here and it's kind of like embrace it or reject it or fight against it or I don't know. But if you have been online at all, you've probably seen a lot of discussion and maybe even paintings done by computers, AI art. And I'm not talking about like an artist using a computer to paint with, like an artist using their iPhone or their iPad and Procreate to make paintings look like paintings. I'm talking about like typing in a string of words like a cat wearing a spacesuit floating in the universe, you know, and then having a realistic painting presented to you 30 seconds later. That's what I'm talking about. And it is really advanced. And these last couple of weeks, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm like scrolling through Facebook and I'm seeing these gorgeous paintings and then them saying it was made with Midjourney or it was made, and I'm seeing these portraits of my friends that were done with this app called Lensa, where I guess they pay $4 and they upload a bunch of photos of themselves and then it spits out, I don't know, like 100 like paintings of them, like portraits of them, where, and the weird thing about this, like these portraits are like, they make somebody look kind of like an elf or like a magical fairy, and it's cute and it's entertaining. But I'm like noticing, like I can tell that these pictures, these are paintings, these digitally rendered, these digitally made with artificial intelligence paintings are my friends, but things are different. It's like they've been made slimmer. Their eyes are larger, their mouths are larger, they're more symmetrical, like all these little tweaks. And it's like, how is this good for us? How is this good for our, like, I mean, I could see it would be good for, like, it make you feel good originally. You make this painting and it's like, it's taken all of your flaws and erased them, and it's taken all of your good attributes and enhanced them, and it's made you slimmer, and it's made you sexier, and it's made you look more idealized, whatever that is, you know. There are problems. It's lightening people's skin and it's making them thinner, and it's distorting you. It's distorting who you are, how you look, and how much of that are we going to look at and then just not be okay with how we look when we look in the mirror. And that's what I'm afraid of. And I think like, and that was a factor to an extent with like filters, you know. You go on like Instagram or something, and if you decide or I don't even know, FaceTime. I don't like to do FaceTime. I don't like to like video call people because I'm self-conscious about how I look, especially in random lighting with no makeup and stuff. It's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just talk and have a regular phone call with somebody. They can imagine that I'm looking my best. I don't want to, like, you know, look like a, you know, a bridge troll. And that's how I feel like all of these, like these filters, and especially this AI generated stuff, which is kind of taking it to the nth degree, is going to make us just feel worse about how we look. Okay. And all that aside, how about the artists? I think that this is really going to put, and I know people are probably like, you know, you gotta embrace the technology. And yes, I know the savvy, business-minded artists I know are embracing it. You know, you can't beat them, join them, right? And I don't blame them. They're embracing it. They are seeing what can AI do for writing. This one artist I follow, she posted this painting she did in Midjourney, and she was talking about AI and how, you know, how it's going to be a good tool and whatnot. And so I read this, it was a couple paragraph long post that she put on Facebook. And then it said ... and then underneath that she wrote, she said, AI has really come a long way. Everything above the 3 dots was written by AI after a short prompt I put in just a couple seconds. And I was just like, the amazing thing was that it sounded like her. It sounded like it was in her voice. I never would have guessed that that was artificially intelligence generated. And the painting, you know, now that I'm starting to recognize what like artificially intelligence paintings done by Midjourney look like, I can say, okay, yeah, that looks like it was put together with an algorithm. I'm seeing it on packaging now. Like there was a set of watercolors, I think they were by Supervision, and I was looking at that and I was like wondering, is that digital art? Is that traditional art? It's advertising watercolors. Is this traditional art? Or is this digital art done by an artist? Or is this artificially intelligence art? Is this AI generated art done by them at the paint company saying, I want a cityscape with people walking down the street and paper lanterns and that. I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was pretty. And the color, using the color palette of the paints that are in this set. You know, so I mean, it's like if a company can do that, if a company can have a product and say, okay, for the packaging, I want you to use these colors, and I want you to paint cherry blossoms over a river in the style of Gauguin or whatever, they can do that. You can spit that out. And these artificial intelligence, I don't even know what to call them, AI painting systems, for lack of a better term, I guess, they just scrape the internet non-discriminately. They go and they look at everything that's on the internet, every painting that you ever posted, every photo you ever posted, every famous artwork that's been uploaded, everything. They just scrape everything. They don't, you know, worry about if an image is licensed for commercial use. They don't look to see if an image is copyrighted. They don't look to, they don't know. They're non-discriminate. They're going to scrape everything. They're going to probably give more credence to more popular images. If they see it's an image that's been, you know, liked 10,000 times, or has been, if they keep seeing this image up in thousands of places, like Van Gogh's Starry Night, you're going to see that millions of places on the internet. They might give those images more relevance as being more popular and therefore a style more people like, and they should weight an image like that more heavily. If they're seeing advertisement in, what do we see in advertisements? We see beautiful, airbrushed, symmetrical people, generally white. Is that what we're going to see from AI art? It's going to favor that because that's what's fed into the media more. So there's so many ethical questions, not to mention the fact that artists are going to be out of work. One person bragged they illustrated a children's book in a weekend using AI. And you know what? I could see that. I could see that if I was a children's book illustrator, if I could feed all of my past artwork into some sort of algorithm, some sort of system, and say, this is my style. I want you to paint, you know, a puppy dog with a bone standing by a kid with a wagon, with a bright blue sky, holding a bird. You know, it could spit that out. It would fill in the gaps with other things. And it's amazing. I mean, sometimes you see some weird generations, but it's amazing the work that is coming out of these computer systems. And that would be the boon for the artist that could do that. But if an artist can do that, then, you know, a book publisher could do that and just skip out the expense of paying an artist for his work, and paying an artist for her royalties on sales. I mean, heck, the publisher could write the book with AI. Just give it a prompt, give it a story, and then have the editors go polish it up at the end, or in fact check it if it's, you know. There's so much information out there. I mean, nonfiction could be written, textbooks could be written, and then they could just have like an academic go through and proofread it. And my daughter came home from college, we're on winter break now, and she was talking about essay writing and how there's a program, at least one, that can write an essay for you. You just give it a prompt and it can write the whole essay on the topic that you want it to write. The professors can't check it for plagiarism. So like they're wondering, how are you going to keep people from cheating in college with their essays? Because there's no way to check against that. The only way to do it would be to have people write essays in class on paper with a pen and then pass it in, and then, you know, which is going to make a lot more work for our professors and their assistants to grade, but that might be the only way to do it because it's virtually untraceable. Now, Google says they have algorithms in place that can spot AI generated text content, and then they will treat AI generated text content as spam. So if like you think, okay, I've got a blog, I'm just going to find one of these text generators and I'm going to type in a prompt and I'm going to let it spit out my my text. And I think that has been happening because sometimes you see like top 10 colored pencil reviews and it brings you to a website that obviously doesn't look like a person is behind it. It'll have random videos, or maybe it'll have a video that has like, you know, the AI speech that's really dodgy and sounds like a computer, like a robot talking. And so yeah, you dismiss that. And obviously Google could see that. And it's like, yeah, that's spam. They're just trying to get affiliate links. They're trying to like push you to affiliate links and all that. That's junk. We're not going to recommend that. Somehow I came across it though. But anyway, I know I'm talking so fast. I'm all wound up about this. So yeah, they'd catch that, but they wouldn't have caught the thing my friend wrote using AI, I don't think. And, you know, I guess, and I read an article about this, and they were saying if you're going to use AI to generate your blog posts, let it, like, give it a prompt, let it generate it, but then go proofread, fact check, and make sure it's in your voice. But it seems like, but they were saying, but like, yeah, no way Google's going to be able to tell that that's AI generated or human generated because it's gotten so good. So I mean, that's interesting that Google is trying to put the kibosh on it and try to not steer people towards AI generated content. But it's going to be, it's already ubiquitous. It's already here. It's already here and it's good. And it's like, it's crazy how fast it's happened. I mean, it's like, really? I know, I sound like I could use some AI generated script right now. Oh my God, it's like crazy, you know, right? Like, yeah, seriously, AI could do better than this. Let me tell you that. My job is in jeopardy. But it's like, why do I keep saying that? Oh my word, yeah, I need some AI. Could definitely do my job and do it a heck of a ton better, 10 times better. But I remember Kimberly Crick doing a review and she had lost her voice, I think, and so she used AI text-to-speech to do the voiceover, and I never would have known. It was unbelievable. It was so good. So, and that was a few months ago. Imagine what it is now. It's just unreal. Now, there are limitations. I mean, the really good, it takes a lot of computing power to create these AI generated images, and that costs money. And a lot of the good programs only have a small limited free window. I think Midjourney is the one that a lot of people are using. And I think you have to go to a Discord server to use it. I haven't used it. I'm almost afraid of opening Pandora's box, you know. So I haven't used any. I did try one that was free because I wanted a reference photo of glass bottles with flowers in them, with poppies in them. And I'm like, oh, let me see if I can generate my own reference photo that I could paint from. And there were some of them were okay, but it was pretty sketchy looking. It was definitely not something that would pass for real painting, but I'm like, I don't care. I just want something that gives me enough of a reference that I can go from, just to kind of give me some ideas. And it was kind of cool, but every time I generated a new one, it took longer. They started taking and there were all kinds of people waiting to generate things, so there was quite a wait. It would be like minutes to get your image, and I was frustrated. I'm like, I can think it up. My brain can work faster than that AI, but there's a lot of AI out there that works faster than my brain, so but that's too cheap to pay for it. But there are, you know, I think you can do like 50 free ones on Midjourney a day, or you pay for like a monthly plan, which would let you do 100, but only so many at a certain detail level because of the computing power. And then it's like, well, you think of all of the electricity and all of the power that's going to take, and with more people doing it, and we're already in a power crisis as it is, an electricity crisis as it is that what we really want to be spending our power on? Kind of like the whole Bitcoin thing where it's like everybody's like, Bitcoin is crashing, and that doesn't surprise me at all because it was an imaginary currency made up because people believed in it and they mined for it, and it used a lot of energy. And I don't really understand how it all worked, but it's like they're using all this electricity that could be used to heat senior citizens' houses, and they're using it to make this fake money that's like, this does not make sense. It seems like such a waste of resources, and it's imaginary, you know? And so, I mean, that just blows my mind, but as long as people agree that it has value, then it will have value. Just like a painting. If enough people agree that painting had value, then it would have value. But otherwise, it's just pigment on a paper and it has no value unless people believe it has value. It's the weirdest thing. I guess our money is like that too, but at least it's FDIC insured. So it's like the whole cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, all of it is just kind of blowing my mind and happening all at once. And I don't like it. I don't like it. No, get off my lawn. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, sometimes I think it's like, okay, I really need to get better at speaking. well, since I opened my Teachable School, I've had one foot in the office every single day. I haven't had a day off where I haven't like, well, I'm going to check and just make sure nobody needs anything. So it's like, yeah, probably AI could respond to my students. They could probably look at their artwork and say what needs to be fixed, because they would have all the artwork in the world to compare against, to see motifs and to see the commonalities in good art, and they'd be able to say, "Oh, that for instance, a very beautiful painting was submitted, and I just had a couple suggestions, like not to let all your elements line up and let some things break the horizon line, that sort of thing. Don't let things flow in tangents. Scale and perspective, just different things like that. That just I know instinctively because I've observed millions of paintings, and I've painted for most of my life. So I've painted for over 30 years, and longer than that. So with all that experience, I can instinctively see what needs to be fixed in order to really enhance the painting. But AI can do that too, because they can scrape the internet for all the images, and they can see what gets repeated and what gets more traffic and what gets more results and what is more liked and what is more favored. And so AI could definitely do that. AI could respond to all my YouTube comments, I mean, it definitely could. I bet probably 99% of conversations we have with customer service in chat boxes on the internet for like the last 10 years has been robots, has been AI. And probably only a real person is yanked in when they get to a point where the AI doesn't have a response for a particular query. But honestly, I bet most of the conversations I've had online have been with artificial intelligence, which is just crazy. You think you're talking to a real person and talking to a robot. And hey, if it gets my problem answered, I don't care. That's fine. But think about the people that used to do that work. The people that used to work at customer service call centers, they're going to be losing, I think they've already been losing work. But I've just been thinking about the artists. So far I've been thinking about the artists, the illustrators mainly, the ones that work for magazines that, illustrate a bottle of olive oil with some olives on a wooden cutting board and do that in colored pencil. And what a pretty illustration. That can be done by artificial intelligence. They can just put that prompt in and have that. They can say, do it in the style of so-and-so. And so-and-so is out of a job. And you can't copyright your style. So unfortunately, so-and-so is up the creek spending their lives building these skills. And all of a sudden, what can be done with a Mid-Journey subscription of, $12 a month instead of paying that person $100 for a spot illustration or $500 or, what have you. It can be done with a cheap subscription to an AI generating service. So these companies that have discovered these, that have made these and developed these, are going to be getting rich. But at what cost? At the cost of our creatives, at the cost of our novelists and our poets and our painters and our artists and our writers. What's going to happen to them? I think illustration is going to be the hardest hit, because illustrators are creating images out of the heads of writers, out of the heads of marketers and companies. So the companies don't have those skills, so they ask the artist to create a pleasing image that will sell their product, but now they won't need to do that. I mean, if they can think of what they want, I guess if they can't think of what they want, but they probably will have art directors that can do that. So the art directors won't have to hire the illustrators. They'll just be able to type a word prompt in, and then eventually probably their jobs will be in jeopardy. I feel like it's just like a pyramid of creatives, and it's just going to get whacked, like karate chopped constantly until there's nothing left. And then what do we do as humans? What happens to us when we no longer have a purpose? And that's what I worry about. You look at it across industries. Remember when we weren't all around for the Industrial Revolution to happen, but we read books. So at the start of the Industrial Revolution, they said that the assembly line is going to make it so people can have a shorter work week. It's going to make it so people have so much more leisure time. They're not going to need to work 7 days a week. And yeah, that got down to 5 days a week and 40 hours a week. But now it's creeping back up. And we've had all these advances that have made things quicker and easier to make. The average American worker produces 80% more than they, I'm just making that statistic up, but I think it's pretty close, than they did back in like the 20s. And they're not making, adjusted for inflation, 80% more. In fact, they're probably making 80% less adjusted for inflation. It's sad. What happened was the people that owned the machines got richer. You know, and when it became too expensive to have people here in America running those machines, they shipped those jobs off to countries where their workers would run those machines for less. And when they do bring their companies back to America to get tax breaks and whatnot, they're not bringing people, they're not hiring people, they're getting them more automated. And now we're seeing our humanity automated. We're automating our heart, our soul, our creativity, our art. And that's just sad. That's unnecessary, just for commercial purposes. It's going to be so, you know, those artists that did work in commercial venues, that basically artists that needed to make a living from their art, are going to be the ones that hurt. The ones that are independently wealthy, the ones that don't need to make a living from their art, will be fine. As an art teacher, I think I'll be fine a little bit longer, but until how long? When, you know, AI starts scraping all the YouTube videos and all the online courses and figures out, do this plus this equals this. Ooh, I can make tutorials on, they can take one of those AI generated art pieces and they can create a tutorial because they're going to have the information to do that. So I think the only thing that can save us is our own humanity, and not getting discouraged and just creating out of the love of creating, because it's always been precarious to make your living in the arts. And now, I don't know. You know what there's going to be? It's going to be like when you buy food and now there's like a warning label that says made with genetically engineered ingredients. There will have to be labels on books saying produced with artificial intelligence. That's the only fair way to do it. That's the only fair way so that people can decide with their money whether they want to buy a book that's been written by an author or it's been written by a computer. You know, that's going to be where it is. Some people probably won't care, but I care. I want to like share in the soul and the heart and the passion of the person that wrote the book. I don't want to communicate with a robot. You know, I want to have reading a book or looking at art to be a shared bit of humanity. We are losing our community so much. We lose community every day. We lose community when we send an email instead of sending a letter. We lose community when we send a text instead of a phone call. We lose community when we work from home rather than going in the office. Some of these things are positive, but I think it's a net negative. I mean, we could play a video game online where 30 years ago we would have gone to a friend's house and played bridge. You know, we could play, or we would have gone to a park and played checkers or chess, or even gone to an arcade and played a video game instead of playing a video game at home. And we are now I'm not religious, I don't go to church, but we are in this, my state, Maine, is even less church going than average, but we are at a time in our lives where like church attendance is at an all-time low. And I'm not going to be here, you know, saying go to church or praising church because I don't go to church, but it's definitely a community situation that we're not taking part in anymore. Many of us aren't taking part in anymore. And the more isolated we become with the addition of this AI business, I don't think it's good. So I don't know. I should be embracing it probably as a business person trying to, you know, keep their business solvent in the upcoming decades, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't think it's going to be good for humanity. I look at the benefits of social media and it's brought us together and I'm so thankful for that, and that is great. But at what cost? At what cost? How often do you visit your friends in person? How often do you visit your family in person? Is it because you're getting some of those needs met, albeit by a diluted amount on social media, that you don't really have to interact with other people? You could just do it online. And all that stuff we're doing online can be replicated with artificial intelligence. I mean, I feel like it's some like crazy science fiction. We're living in the science fiction world without flying cars. Where are our flying cars? Can't we have flying cars and not have the AI AI art. Can we trade? I'd rather have a flying car, except it probably would take way too much gas, and maybe that's why they haven't done it. But I don't know. This is happening so fast, and I just want to put. I don't know. I don't want to fearmonger. I don't want to fearmonger, but I think we need to appreciate people and appreciate art. And you know what I'll probably end up doing? I'll probably end up teaching art classes in person with people, because we're going to need that. We're going to, don't lose your community. Don't lose your humanity. I'm just afraid we're going to lose our humanity. When art becomes that easy, it's going to be undervalued. It's going to be, yeah. And I know people are saying, well, you're just here for all the gatekeepers, you know, but no, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything about it. Anybody can pick up a pencil and start to draw. But that takes time, and that takes discipline, and that takes effort, and that takes passion. But anybody can type a few words into a box and have an artwork spit out at them that's probably better than the person that's trying really hard could draw. It would take them 10 years maybe to get to be able to draw as well as that thing that the AI spit out in 10 minutes. And people are going to be like, I'm not going to put in the work to do that. Or I could just do this. No, it's not as satisfying, but it's immediate. And then I can show it off online to a bunch of robots, because there won't be any real people online anymore. I don't know. It's like, can our brains even comprehend this? Can our brains comprehend this? It was funny. I was having a conversation with my husband and my daughter the other day, and we were talking about if artificial intelligence from another planet came to Earth, would we recognize them? Because they would be so different, because they wouldn't be made of the stuff that we are made out of. Because, like, I don't know how much, like, we shared the makeup. We're like 95% the same makeup as my daughter goes. We're like 95% the same as a banana, you know? And then this thing comes from another planet that's made out of completely different stuff. We might not even be able to see it or recognize it. It might be transparent. It might just be a shape that our brains can't even identify, so we don't even see it. Our brains are saying, nope, that doesn't exist. Nope, we don't see that thing. That thing is weird. You know, that is not of this earth. We don't, you know, our brains couldn't even understand it. It'd be like trying to teach calculus to a hamster. Their brains can't interpret it. Like, at what point is the AI going to get to the point that it's past what our brains can even interpret anymore? And I think it's like it's kind of past what my brain can interpret, but that's not saying much, really. Let's be honest. But it's just mind-boggling, and it's kind of exciting, but it's kind of terrifying at the same time. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious about it, because it's totally blowing my mind. Like, oh my God, can you believe it? And I'll come up with some new adjectives by the next time I see you. Hopefully. Maybe I'll have to use AI. Probably it could do it. But that's the other thing. It's like, what about deepfakes? What about them putting words in like leaders' mouths and then starting wars and stuff? It's just crazy what can happen. But that's all I have. I can't believe I talked about it for this long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if, I don't know. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.